Hi everyone, Sandy here. Welcome to my channel. This is a tutorial on how to make a little wallet fold accordion pocket album. This is using Country Craft Creations Majestic Dreams paper collection. It's an album that you could use to house your photos of your horses or horseback riding and something like that. So this has been a lot of fun to create. It's really easy to make, and I will show you the details of this at the end of this video. So let's get started on the tutorial. To make the cover of our wallet fold album, we need two pieces. All three pieces are cut from one piece of 12 by 12 of brown artisan cardstock. So I need two that are 7 inches by 5.5 and one that is 5 by 5.5. So take your two 7 by 5.5 and we're going to score a 7-inch side at a 1/2 inch. And do that on both of those. Then take your 5 inch by 5.5 and on your 5-inch side, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch and at 1. 1/2 inch and 1. And this piece here, we're going to take our corner rounder, 1/2 inch, the two corners opposite of the score lines, we're going to round those two corners. Just like that. Now let's move the scoreboard out of the way. Take your two 5.5 by 7 pieces and we're going to score on that 1/2 inch score line on both of those. Now then open this up so that you have it hinge your 1/2 inch right here. I'm going to put glue on the inside. Take your other piece and fit the 1/2 inch of this one into the other 1/2 inch and make sure you're lining them up along the fold line, the cut edge along the fold line. You want to get them straight in there. It's hard to show you here in camera because of the color. But you turn it over so you don't see anything sticking out and burnish that. That's creating a little spine there on the end for our waterfall pockets, which are going to fit in right here. Okay, so now for the other side of our cover, we take this piece here, we're going to score both, we're going to fold and burnish both score lines, which gives us a attachment hinge and a spine, a gap for our waterfall. So we're going to put glue on the last 1/2 inch on the inside here. And we're going to line up the cut edge of this one into the fold of the first 1/2 inch. And make sure they're lining up on both ends and not over the fold line. Set one nice and squared up there. Turn it over so you can see, wipe off any glue that you're not extending beyond where you're supposed to. Okay, so that is the wallet fold cover, just like that. To create 4 pockets for our accordion pocket sections of our wallet fold album, you need to take 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock. I'm using the artisan brown. I've already made 3 of these. So you need to cut 4 pieces to 6 inches by 12, and you're going to put your 6-inch side into your scoreboard and score at a 1/2 inch all the way down and at 5.5. Turn with the 12-inch at the top and score at 6. take each piece, you're going to make them all four the same. Here in the middle fold, where the 6-inch fold was, cut an angle into the fold and then cut away a 1/2 inch section like this, all the way down. Turn it and do the same on the other side. Cut right along that score line and cut that 1/2 inch piece all the way out. Okay, so it should look like this. So you still have the 1/2 inch scores here at the top, on this section on both sides, and this is cut away and you've got the angle. So now we're going to burnish the fold lines. And here, if you see a little piece that's not quite cut straight, just go ahead and cut that out even without cutting the fold. Go ahead and burnish this one in. So both 1/2 inches should go toward each other. And really burnish that in good. And then burnish the one in the middle. And what this does is it's going to create a pocket for your accordion. So put glue on the 1/2 inch flap on each side. And bring this up and seal that up. So they should match. Burnish really well on both sides. Just like that. If you see a little piece sticking out, you can just trim that off just a tiny bit. So now we have 4 of these, because I've already made 3. I'm just checking to make sure I don't have any glue on the inside there. Okay, so we're going to take one and we're going to put glue on one side, just right in the center, like that. Take one and line it up on top of it. Make sure they're even and burnish that down so that it glues down. Take glue again, just in the center. Take another pocket and glue it down. Make sure you line them up and burnish. Last one, glue in the middle. Line this up. Make sure your edges square up, bottom and sides, and burnish. Okay, let that dry for just a bit. If there's any glue oozing out of the top, make sure you wipe that off the top edge. So just let those dry. If you want to clip them, you can, to just give them a bit of time to dry. Wipe off any glue and let those dry. To reinforce this 1/2 inch section here with the flap of our album, I've cut from scrap 1/2 inch wide, a 5.5 inch tall piece of cardstock, and I'm going to glue that inside so it makes it a double thickness, the same as this side. So make sure you glue it really straight in between the fold lines. So we burnish that down, wipe off any excess glue, and then fold it back up. So that gives us a nice reinforced section there, just like that. Okay, now then for the waterfalls, I have cut 6 pieces from another sheet of the 12x12 artisan cardstock, 6 pieces that are 3.5 by 4, and I'm going to score my 4-inch side at 1/2 inch. So this is going to make a 3.5 by 3.5 waterfalls. So score your 4-inch side at 1/2 inch on all 4. I'm sorry, on all 6. So you want to score all of them on the 4-inch side of all 6 of your waterfall flaps that we're making. So we'll end up with a total of 6 flaps. So fold and burnish your score line. Okay, so let's grab our cover. We have the rounded corner flap here on our left. That's where the waterfall is going to go. If you want to use this as your next spacer, you can. I just tend to like to fit it along the bottom of the cut edge of the one that I just put down, which is a 1/2-inch space. So I'm going to put my glue on. So I'm just going to flip this down and look at it, make sure it's even. The next one, glue on the flap on the back side, line up the fold with the cut edge of the one that just went down, and I'm lining it up to make sure they're even. Flip it up. Take another one. Bring that in. Flip it down and make sure they're even. And I'm going to round the corners of this last one here, just because to make it look even. It's a 1/2-inch corner round here on the bottom. And then I would round this corner here. So I'm just going to re-round my cover corner right there. So that straightens that out. So I have that. This other one that I have, I'm going to use it as a closure piece on the bottom right here. So I'm going to go ahead and round the corners on it. This is going to go in here. Put that on just like that. So glue on the 1/2-inch on the back side here. Fit this in so that it butts in, lines up correctly with all the other waterfalls, but it's just upside down. And it's right along the bottom edge here. And you've got just a tiny bit of it here that you're going to reclip that cover. Just like that. So now we have that. And like I said, if you want to leave these straight, you can, or you can round the corners of your other waterfalls. Now we're going to put a little magnet here to hold this down. So I think I'm just going to use a small one. So I need a plus and a minus. Open up this closure piece, and I'm going to put it, stick it down in the center. Oops. About a 1/4 inch or so from the edge, and then I'm going to pull the other backing off. Close it up so that it touches the first waterfall flap. Separate them, and we have 2 there, and I'm going to cover those with Scotch tape to secure them in place and to smooth out that area around them so they don't show up under your paper quite as much. Okay, so there's those already. There's the waterfall. Now I'm ready to put my pockets here on the inside. And these are going to go, you want to make sure that the opening of your pockets or to the inside right here. And I'm actually going to wait until I add my pattern paper in there. So that's where that's going to go, and that's going to close up like that, and we'll have a ribbon closure. So that is the Wallet Fold album. So now we're ready for the patterned paper. Before we put our accordion pocket into the cover, I've cut a piece of patterned paper that is 6 3/8 wide by 5 3/8 tall. So I'm going to attach that down, and I'm using this stripe on the back side of these beautiful horses, but I'm going to use a stripe because most of it's going to be covered up. Put my glue on here and get this in. So make sure it goes between the folds of the album covers. So nice and straight there, and burnish that down. Make sure I've got it straight. Okay. Now let's take our accordion pockets that we made. We have 4 like that, and these are going to attach right in here over this pattern paper section. So I want to make sure that they're straight. And to accordion out, I'm just going to put glue on the center of this one right here. Okay, now I'm going to place it in, kind of center it side from end to end, and make sure it's about the same distance top and bottom. So just get that in there straight, and then I'm going to burnish that like that. Okay, and let that dry. So that's the accordion pocket here on the inside with the cover, and then this closes like this. We're going to have a tie closure. So I've been playing with some of the pattern papers from the Majestic Dreams collection from Country Craft Creations in the 12 by 12 size, and I've cut some of them out and I've attached them down with temporary adhesive, so they're not glued in permanently, because I tend to do this sometimes and not always show it on camera, but I like to cut things and just glue it down. I haven't cut anything for this side here, but I will. So I'm going to give you the measurements, and then off camera I will go ahead and glue everything down. Now the first thing we did was in here before we attached the accordion pockets. So I cut from under here. In the accordion pockets, you do need one that's 6 3/8 wide by 5 3/8 tall that goes behind the pockets. So I've already given you that. But let's close this up, and I'll go over everything here on the front and the outside, and then I'll go through the inside, and then I'll put mine in permanently. Now this is going to have a ribbon closure, and I've cut 2 of these. These are 2-inch wide ribbons from Country Craft Creations. This is the sheer gold with the white dots, and each piece is 18 inches long. And I did that so that I can put one here on each side of the back, secure them in underneath before I add the pattern papers, and then of course I will tie it closed here on the front. So here on the front you will cut one piece that is 3 7/8 wide by 5 3/8 tall, and then round the corners to go on that. This piece here is the brown cardstock underneath, and it is 1 3/4 wide by the 5 3/8 tall, and then a scrap of this real pretty blue with the script on it is 1 1/2 wide by the 5 3/8 tall, and this is fussy cut out of the tag. So that is all going to glue there on the front. This inside piece here on the cover is 6 3/8 wide by 5 3/8 tall. You're going to need 2. You need one here and one on the back. So you cut 2 of those. Okay. And then when we open it up, because we've already got this one, you're going to cut one here, another one that is 6 3/8 by 5 3/8 tall, and I use this pretty blue pattern. These strips here are 3/8 wide by the 5 3/8 tall, so you need 4. You're going to need 2 here, and then the 2 that I don't have cut yet for the outside. Here on the accordion pocket section in the front, 5 7/8 wide by 4 3/8 tall, and I thought these 2 horses images were just beautiful for that. Now then, on the waterfall underneath, you could have put a piece down before you patterned or added the waterfalls. I did not. I'm okay with the brown on the side. If you're not, then you're going to want to cut a piece the same size as the front to put down before you do your waterfall. Here for the closures, I have 2 that are 3 3/8 wide by 3 3/8 tall, and you do round the corners. Of course, this is a cut apart from the tags. So we have this on the inside. Then this piece here is the top flap is 3 3/8 wide by 3 3/8 tall. Then the rest of them, because I'm going to leave them just the cardstock on the back side, but the rest of them I'm just doing the bottom in the continuous cut, except for this bottom I did kind of mess up, but you don't really notice it that much. So these are all, you need 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, yes, 3 that are 3 3/8 wide by 1/2 inch tall. So you would cut this piece first, then a 1/2 inch one, a 1/2 inch one, and a 1/2 inch one. So that gives you that image all the way down. This one I messed up. It fits in here, but I wanted it a little wider. So this piece here is 1 1/4 tall for the last here, or you could cover the whole thing if you wanted to. Now it's optional. You can go back and do the 3/8 wide or tall for each section here by the 3 3/8 wide, and so you would need 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So I may go ahead and do that. So that's pretty much the pattern paper. Next up is the inserts. So I did cut out of cardstock 8 that are 5 3/4 tall by 4 3/4 wide. I angle punched the top corners, and then I rounded the bottom corners. So if you're going to put pattern paper on these, I haven't cut any yet, you would want to cut these to about 4 5/8 wide by 5 5/8 tall if you're going to pattern. I put 2 in each accordion pocket here. You could put more. I think at least probably 4 each. I don't know. And then I may go ahead and put a ribbon, punch a hole and put a ribbon in each one. So that's the pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and also do the flaps, the inserts in my accordion pocket, add my ribbon so I can tie this on, and we'll see how it looks finished up. I have all the pattern paper attached down, and I will show you exactly what I did after I finished the front, but I also added this strip here from the border strip, which turned out really pretty on that, and then I did do the outside of the little spines. So I have here my flowers that I want to use, and I've tied up my bow. Now you'll notice here, because of the waterfall, it does kind of have a little lift, and that's the way the original design was. So that's fine. It's just held closed with this bow, pretty bow. But I do want to make my arrangement over the ribbon here on both sides. So I am going to take, now you can use a couple of strips of thinner score tape, or if you have the wider score tape, that's fine. So I'm going to take some score tape. This is the 1 inch that I have in my stash. And here on the front, where the ribbon comes, I'm going to attach this down. So I'm going to trim this one off a little bit more. Don't want it as high up. I'm attaching the ribbon down with score tape. So this is where I'm going to be putting an arrangement of flowers. And then I'm also going to do it on this opposite side. So cut me some tape. I'm going to press this down, and then about right in here I'm going to put my flowers. Okay, so we'll do that. So I have them all gathered together. I have a pretty key. I have some greenery, the flowers, the roses that I want to use. So I'm going to do the left side first. I'm going to take the tape backing off. Now I am going to use glue in addition to just the score tape, because I want to make sure that it's all on there really secure. Okay, so I have one of the big roses, but first I'm going to put some greenery, I think, here at the top. So I've got my glue, my art glitter glue. On the back side of my greenery, on my leaves, I'm going to put some glue. Just going to, whoops, that one came loose. I'll put him on by itself. Put that here kind of at the top. And this one that came loose, put it right in here. Okay, I'm going to take my big rose, I'm going to put it on first. And set it right in here with the greenery kind of peeking out at the top here. Okay, make sure the ends of my bow are not getting caught into that. And I'm going to go ahead and put my other roses on into an arrangement here. Now these are the bigger ones are the Graphic 45 roses, and these others are some that I had in my stash. And this one down here. There. And then from my stash, I have these little white ones, because if you look in the flowers in the paper, you have the roses and you have some little white ones. So I'm just going to put these in, mix them in. Put one here at the top. Just love how that looks. It's really pretty like that. Okay, so then we'll do the other side. Same way, we're going to take this off. Now I may want to put some more greenery in this one over here. Perhaps. Maybe a little more up here at the top. Oops. So I'm just going to put some greenery on the bottom part of it. I mean some glue. Not greenery, but glue. And I'm going to just kind of tuck that in. Kind of push that in there. There we go. A little more up there at the top. Now this side. And I'm going to put my key over here on the right side. Pull that paper backing off. And again, let's start with some greenery here. Some leaves. And then the big rose, I'm going to put it right in here. And my other roses. Just check and make sure I'm covering up all that wide score tape. Now the white flowers, so one goes right here. Put one right in here, I think. And then another one here on the top. Okay, so we're going to let all that dry, and then the key is going to attach here, and I don't want it to go over my horses, so I'm going to put glue. So I'll put glue on the back of my key, and I'm just going to kind of lay it in an angle right here, kind of in with the flowers, and then right here. So now all this has got to dry, so I'm going to let this dry. Okay, so the flowers have dried, and while they were drying, I did a few other little things off camera. I still have some beads drying now. I took some, these are Prima beads. These are from my stash. This is a wine color. From Country Craft Creations, I had the white and the gold, but these was a different set that I had from before then. So they are Primas, but they're just that a wine color. So you could use gold or white if you wanted to. And here on the side, I wrapped some of the seam binding around the left spine, and I tied on this tassel I had in my stash, and it is made of leather, and I thought, I've had it for a long time. I don't know where it came from. It could be a Prima, I don't know, but I thought the leather was perfect to go with the horse collection. And then I wanted some charms on the other side, so I didn't have anything horse related, but I did have dragonflies, so I tied those on the left there. So I've got the key down here, and the last thing I'm going to do before I say that this is finished, I'm going to add some of this glitter kiss that you can order from Country Craft Creations. This stuff is wonderful. It comes in different colors. Once it dries, I did some on another rose that I didn't use on the project, but once it dries, it doesn't come off. It's on my hands because I was holding that. So it comes with a foam applicator like this that you can use for bigger areas, and you also can add just a touch of water to it if it's distilled water if it's getting too chunky and dried out. But I'm going to put a little bit of this glitter on mine. Now I'm going to use, not in with the not spritzing it in there. I've got just regular water here. I'm going to spritz it here on this little plastic thing and pick me up some water on my brush to kind of soften that up or thin that out. I'm going to grab a little bit here, and I'm going to brush it off on the side some. And I just want to put a touch of gold glitter on the edges of my roses. And just thought this would dress it up quite a bit. Just going to kind of add it on the edges. If it gets a little chunky in some places, that's okay. Now I'm not going to do all this on camera with you. I just kind of want to show you. See, there's a chunk that came out real thick, but I just kind of spread it out a little bit. So this just kind of dresses up your flowers. And like I said, it comes in different colors. I have a white, silver, a real pretty midnight blue or navy looking blue, and then a sand gold color. So just brush it on. Pick up a little water here. Like that on the edges. And then let it dry. And it won't shake off, or, you know, like some glitters do. And I don't like it real heavy, so I'm liking it a whole lot better than I would stickles. I used to use stickles a long time ago, but sometimes they're just a little bit too thick, too heavy. And I would do the same thing with them, though. I would lightly brush more than what would actually squeeze out of the bottle. So as you can see, it doesn't take too terribly long, and this rose looks, I think, really, really pretty. Let me hold it up to my camera for you, and the light, see how it picks that up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and then I will do a kind of a quick walkthrough with you on this project, show you what I've done, and then that will be the conclusion of this quick and easy little wallet fold album using Majestic Dreams by Country Craft Creations. So I'm going to go ahead and keep adding some glitter and sparkle. So I've got the gold on my roses, and I think they turned out beautiful. So this little album is finished. This is a wallet fold mini album. It unties here. So you see here on the front, I have a band layered and a cut apart with the horses. So I've got the roses and the pearls and a key here on the side. And on the small spine on the left, I have the leather tassel and the 2 dragonflies. So the back is just plain. So when you open this, here on the left side we have a little closure that flips down with a cut apart, flips down, and then we have the waterfall here. So you can put some photos here. Closes up. And then this opens back. Now you could put a picture here if you wanted to, because that would cover it up. So you could put something there. I did add this piece from the border with the horses. And then when you open it up, you've got a nice big area for photo here. You could add a photo here. I just love the image of these horses here. Tip that up. Now this is not a traditional album that where pages fold out. It is actually an accordion type like that. And then in each pocket there are 2 photo mats. One has the ribbon pull so that you can see that there's something in there. When you flip it over, you've got the gold pearl shimmer glimmer paper from Country Craft Creations. So there's 2. They kind of complement each other, but they're not the exact same pattern. But both have the photo mat on the back. So I have that one in the front, first one. I'm going to show you each one so you can see the pattern papers that I used. This one is the roses and the mats on the back. The third one has the horses like this, and then this strap that complements. And the last one, because there's 4 of these accordion pockets, the last one has these horses in the frames, and then the beige color, and of course the mats on the back. So that is this a little album. Thank you so much for following along with my tutorial. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and invite your friends and family, crafty friends and family, to join, to also subscribe. Click like so that it pushes my video out to more people. And when you do subscribe, if you haven't already, click on the bell, and that will send you a reminder or notice the next time I upload a video. And always check out Country Craft Creations for your scrapbooking supplies. You can get your seam binding ribbon there, your cardstock, your pattern paper. Again, this is the Majestic Dreams, which is exclusive to Country Craft Creations. Now, it has a lot of images for the Kentucky Derby or racing of that type, but I focus more on just horses for this album. So it's very versatile that way. So check out all the supplies that are available currently at Country Craft Creations, and join me again on my next tutorial. Thanks. Bye-bye.